I think. Yes. Maybe.
Tell us that you can see us and that we are beautiful people.
That's true. That's true. We need to know. It's quite important.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Tell us you love us.
Yeah.
Even if Bib's not here.
That's true. Because I think Bib's at DinoCon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi. Tinguish, hi.
I thought you were at DinoCon, Tinguish.
Biblaridolus. Hi, David. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are people here. They have not completely abandoned us in our lack of Bib.
Bib's on the train.
Ah. I know I do, Dave. I have a light. It's right here, and it looks really great when I have it on, except I've been having like well, actually that's not too bad right now. I could probably leave it on for a little bit, but it just gives me migraines, and I've just been very migraine sensitive the last like few months, but it's okay. I'm going to see my doctor next week. Yay, doctors! Yay, new drugs, hopefully, probably. Yeah. Okay. So we are conlanging in theory.
That we are.
It's going back off. Sorry. You all get the horrible lighting, and also now my eyes are blurry and I can't see. Okay, here we go. Or maybe it's my camera. Is my camera blurry or am I blurry?
It's trepanning.
I can't tell if I can see or not. Trepanning?
Isn't, yeah.
I don't know if you're supposed to do that. See me. Focus on my face. Okay, hold on.
Isn't trepanning when you put the tiny hole in your skull?
I don't know what that is. I don't know. Maybe.
I'm going to say let's not.
Let's not drill tiny holes in my head?
Yeah.
Good. I don't think that sounds like fun, personally. Very ancient surgical technique. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I feel like I have like, okay, slight tangent, but then we're focusing on conlanging. So you know how with migraining, they talk about it as like you have like, you know, whatever you're doing, and then like the water in the tank is like your migraine threshold. And if like your migraine threshold is really high, then only like the peaks actually cause migraines. And if it's really low, you're like constantly migraining, you know?
I have never really read that much about migraines. So you would know so much more than me that I have no idea how much more than me you actually even know about migraines. That's how much more about migraines you actually know.
Very good. Well, here's coming in here with my very limited expertise for this stream. This will be all I got for the whole stream. But I always feel like, I don't know, that I have two buckets with two things. I don't know, because I used to have a lot of...
You know those people who would have the sticks with the water buckets on each end?
Yeah. You know? I have two, exactly. That's me. Because like I have two different types of migraines that I get, and like I used to have the one that they thought was MS for a while, and then they medicated me, and I kind of stopped mostly having those, except sometimes I have like the numbness and the muscle issues, right, and the pain. But then like now I'm having all the like, you know, basic B migraine problems, like the, you know, I don't know. I feel like there's two buckets. I need more drugs. I don't know. We'll see.
You're such a bucketful person.
I am, yes. Okay. So. That's true. Why can't it be their grain? I wish, Magico, I wish I could just give it to people and be like, here, you can have this for a while. I'm going to not have it.
And like the sage says to the child, if you ferment your grain, you will be rich.
Mm. Mm. That would help. That'd be great.
Relay season is upon us.
Oh, okay. So,
I want to preface this by saying I'm quite sure that you probably know more about like how, especially like the Scottish and Irish clans work than me, because I do not know that much about it. However, I hope that between us we can find a nice balance between doing something that is rooted in like that very real system that I know inspires you a lot, and also kind of uh, tweaking it a bit so it's like kind of not exactly that, but also kind of that.
brilliant. I'm excited. Okay, so for those of you that do not know, our goal for today is to work on the like title, address stuff for people in this area of Pillar World. Yes, exactly. So I came up like we have our names of different family members that we came up with for the proto that I think I stuck it through the sound changes. So
Yep.
that's in theory what these are in P0. But like there's also other stuff we can do with it. We have some diminutives, and then we have the names of the different roles. And I imagine in the book, like these are things that would probably come up, right? Like fairly easily. So like these are definitely usable. Whereas like some things I'm like, will I use it? I don't know. Yeah, like honorifics, all that kind of stuff. I don't want it to be like too crazy. But yes. Okay, so Jake, where do we start?
Okay. So should we just start at the start?
Yeah.
Okay. By this, I imagine you mean we can name the clans themselves, right?
Yeah, like if there's like a certain system or a pattern, or like we don't have to necessarily come up with all the clan names right now, but like we can. There'll be, I assume, some sort of like system or methodology or something that we use to name them.
I'd say, yeah. I mean, there will certainly be some sort of like pattern that that you can see. My thinking is this. So on some level, you could make it the equivalent of just like surnames. So obviously you can get more specific than that. So you can do like a patronym system. So like son of blank, daughter of blank, if you want to be like that. Then you often get like totemic style clans. So these are most closely associated with some kind of like animal. So like if you're in the bear clan versus the bugs clan, and very often there's some sort of like there's often a perceived relationship between your totemic animal and your nature. So like, oh, the people of the bear clan are strong, while the people of the fox clan are cunning. Like
Right.
that.
Okay.
And I assume you don't want more of a generationally changing system, right?
Right, because it's like this clan name, it's going to be pretty widespread. Like every one of a clan will be like of this clan. So it wouldn't be something that would be changing.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
where the um I was trying to double check exactly what this sept what the septs involve.
Mm,
Um so but it doesn't seem like they have this example in Irish, and apologies to everyone who can actually read Irish, because this is not what this is gonna be completely wrong.
mm,
I'll copy and paste it so
okay.
you can laugh at me. You can rate this out of 10. So Slioch, Brian, Mick. See, I don't think the DH is pronounced at all, but it might be something else. So
Mm,
I'm gonna go with a yeah sound. Yarmada. I think that was terrible. I'm gonna try and double check what the DH sound is meant to be. Um oh, that was bad. I was right, it's a yeah sound.
okay.
Um Wait, but then sometimes it's not. Oh no. Okay. Okay. I'll be fine. Oh, it's the equivalent of Dermot. Lovely.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay. So um I'm aware of those sorts of clans. We're not doing generation.
Yeah. And I like the idea of the totemic style clans. The only problem is there are very few animals that we would recognize as animals. So like I mean like they're all mostly dragons, you know? Like yeah, there's some other things like there's some like probably some like rodent type things and like there's going to be dragonflies and like a handful of other things. But for the most part, it's all dragons and different types of dragons. So they could be
No,
like named after different types of dragons, but that seems kind of I don't know if they
but
also ride dragons.
you could imagine if we go back up to the animal names list, then there could be a Pikinin, like a Pikinin clan.
Mm-hmm.
If you pop to where I am, like the Mind Tricker Dragon clan,
Right.
um, versus the Kshampen clan, versus the Shkatrajirin, sorry, Shkat Shkastajrin clan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, um, and if the clan suffix, if the
Mm-hmm.
clan part of it, like you know how in Irish they'll usually start with a O, or in I think ni is the feminine,
Okay.
um, because they do distinguish between son of and daughter of in the Irish forms of the names. Not everyone distinguishes it in the English descendants.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
but one way that we could, in theory, hide or diversify some of these in suffixes would
Mm-hmm.
be to have the bit that means son of or daughter of be a suffix that changes this. anyway, also it doesn't have to be animals in theory. Like if you would rather do, I know that you wanted the different colors of jade associated with them. If the different sorts of jade had names, you could name the clans after the jade, or you could name them after plants that have the same color as the jade. Or you could like essentially all that you need is some sort of symbolic relationship, and you don't even have to have it be particularly strong. You could have, if these clans are really 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 old. I mean, I will say having them be 10,000 years old is quite unrealistic.
Yeah.
But if I mean,
as David points out, it would be so very Madeline to have things named after rocks. So. Oh, I do kind of like the idea of that. Because I do like the idea of that. I do lean towards not having there be like a feminine masculine ending of it, just because I just did that in history.
I mean, you can do it with child. It would work fine. And I was also thinking that to get a suffix, one easy thing would be to do it based on an old verb. So if it was from the verb to be born, so and it was effectively the person who was born of X, or even using some of the applicatives, if you were born with this is where having names for the colored jades would also help a lot, because if you're like born of yellow jade versus born of green jade, I mean, you could even just make the colors the clan names.
Right. And there could be some, like, if I end up needing more than just the colors, like I could add like some specifiers to like which green it is or something, you know. Or if
I mean, a lot of color, well, not a lot of color names per se. I think that there's in the sense that, like, if I say fawn to you, your first instinct is to think of it as a young deer, right? But you know on some level that if you describe something as being fawn, it can refer to a very specific color.
Yes.
So as much as the kind of basic color terms are often more limited, especially like historically, they are more limited than what we have now. Like what we found is, because we have lots of artificial colors, we identify more basic colors. Whereas historically, it's not that they couldn't see the range of colors. It's just that if you were referring to something like, I mean, you can think of it with lime green, right? You can describe something as lime, and it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly the color of a lime for you to understand what the color is. And we don't consider lime as, we would usually say lime green to specify the color, but you can, like, there are plenty of languages that, like, I read an interesting paper that was critiquing this idea that all languages have basic color terms, because there are languages which have a lot of these terms that are rooted in specific things, especially when you don't have a lot of access to paints, for example. Like the need to distinguish these colors is like concepts in and of themselves is
yeah, that makes sense. It gives lots of room to expand and specify as need be. Okay, I'm very into this, as if me putting our color names as they are so far through Lexergy didn't already showcase my devotion to the rock things. So for the names of the clans, would it just be based off the color, or would it be like this colored jade clan? Like, would we have it like compounded with like the word for the like magic jade?
I think that's up to you. I mean, I can share some thoughts I'm having. So, I guess there's a question is like, what is the relationship between the jade and the Jake?
So I mean, the big thing is going to be they have access to this jade that's specifically on their pillar, and it is associated with the magic that is maintaining the pillar. And also there is a specific one of these that they have extracted some of it from at the center of the pillar that can give some level of like magic abilities to the like heads of the clan. So it's like a marker of both status and also like belonging to the clan. Yeah. So it's almost like a they probably have like carved it, is what I'm imagining, like wherever like the center like core of the pillar is of that rock. And then also there's like bits of it throughout that they've sort of mined some surface parts of. So they have like the non-magical ones, and also then there's like the actual magical one at the center of the pillar.
Okay, so it's the clan head is particularly important.
Yes, yeah, the clan head and probably like the closest, like there'd probably be like maybe 4 to like 8, maybe, that kind of like several people that would be able to have access to that jade, to probably like the closest family members or highest up, positions, kind of.
So there's more of a head family rather than a head individual.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think. So, Pilar. Okay. Because the clans are traditionally about kin, right? So the idea originally would have been that there's some sort of privileging of the relationship within kin relative to outside. The relationship you're describing is more about location, right?
Yeah, I mean, like the individual clans, like it will be based off kins, but like their territory that they claim is based off Yeah.
No, but for example, I'm trying to think of a good way to say this, because I think that you get, in a sense, like there's a distinction between like a claim to territory versus like you in your situation you have like a direct material link between the um the people in the clan, or this head family, and the pillar in which the magic is actually come from, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think I see what you're getting at.
And so um and also in a sense you can imagine the emergence of these clans, right? So the implication is that there aren't clans before this.
Right.
Then you have I don't imagine a whole family would go into the mine together. You
Yeah.
know, so there would be some sort of mining, and you also wouldn't mine by yourself, I don't imagine, into the middle of the pillar.
No, and you wouldn't mind much at all.
Well, where's the center of the pillar jade come from? Is it
So
like,
it's like, think of it more like a center core thing. Like it would extend up above the surface a little bit.
okay,
Yeah.
so it like peaks out at the top?
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's not even like, if there was a mine, the mine could in theory collapse, or is the are they able to mine more of this special jade, or is there like, or is the power that stops the pillar from eroding stopping us from mining more of the magic jade?
Yeah, I would think it's like that, where there's like a very limited amount that they've been able to actually like take from it, like at the very top. Like sort of like they could carve the top bit of it, and those shavings they've used to make like individual, I don't know, totems or artifacts or something that they can then have and use. And then other than that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I imagine there would be some kind of building, or um, there would be some kind of center there, right?
Yeah, built up around it.
Yeah. So there would be like a clan central building. Do you know what you're calling these? Is it like a palace, house?
Palace is definitely too grand.
Um, less less grand fort.
Hmm.
I mean, what's is the function to defend the
Yeah, yeah, they would have to defend it. So
castle?
Fort Castle. Yeah, I'm trying to think if they would have built like one of the main like Tulo style buildings around this,
Mm.
because that might make sense. We haven't come up with the name for the Tulos yet, but like that
Mm-hmm.
the strong houses, the round strong houses.
Mm-hmm.
Because it'd be like a strong house probably of some form.
Okay. So we have this sort of seat of the clan on the stronghouse with the jade source.
Yeah.
And then I think there is a real one of the interesting things that this makes me think of is that if there's there's only one of these per pillar, right? Is that what you're
Correct.
saying?
Would be the
Which,
expectation. Like I could always have a weird one where it's like two pillars sort of just end up like close enough that like they're touching, but like I don't know. They just
it
work.
would mean that if they land on the big one, right? Like the biggest pillar.
Originally. So they and this is also a migration spot. So like when they initially came to Pillar World, they were in P0 pillar area. And then they migrated to this region, probably starting at the big pillar, and then they like settled all the various pillars around.
Oh, they migrate to here. This
Yeah,
isn't.
this isn't one of the initial drop off locations.
Oh, okay. Because it would mean that if they find the source on, I guess it doesn't matter whether it's the biggest one or one of the little ones. If they understand that they can get the jade from each of the pillars, then you would surely start with people. It would be like a gold rush situation, no?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. And there's definitely his like history of these various clans like fighting each other and like, you know.
well, it would also mean that, like, if you're on the biggest island, you only have so much magic relative to the size, right?
Yeah.
So if you're from a clan that's on a smaller pillar, relatively speaking, you would in theory have more access to the jade.
Mm.
And so you could have, we'd also talked about like how marriage would work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did we say we were going with exogamy?
I think let me refresh myself. Is that the one where it has to be from like an external group kind of thing?
Yeah.
I would imagine yes, you would either need to marry outside of, at the very least, like outside of your sept. Like you might be able to marry different septs with certain like in certain instances, but outside of that would probably be the most common, would be my guess.
Okay. So marriage outside of sept,
Mm-hmm.
which to me then has the implication that inside clan.
That would probably be an option, unless that seems. I'm trying to think of like how many people would even be in these clans.
I think it could also vary based on the size of the island that the clan is from.
That's true. Like how big the clan actually is and how big their
Because,
pillar is whether or not they have to marry outside of their clan entirely or just like outside the sept.
like, I'm trying to think of a small island like Skye. I mean, Skye is one of the bigger Scottish ones, isn't it? But
Yeah.
it's
Go with
much
like
smaller than Ireland,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
it would be, wait, no, not within Sept.
Sort of,
Like,
Miles, sort of.
and it would mean that like you could have some clans. The clans on the smaller pillars may also be easier for people to get into
Mm-hmm.
because they'll be looking for like their marriage prospects would be spread wider
Mm.
than if it's culturally accepted that you'll marry within your clan, but as long as it's a different sept, then the likelihood that they would not lose per se, that the jade would end up being controlled by people who are from outside of the clan is zero, right? Well,
I
not zero. It's just significantly less because
yeah, and they'd probably limit that too, and it might be slightly different per clan. But yeah, I think that would make sense. It's kind of interesting. There'll probably have to be some sort of tradition of like once people come of age, like sending them off other places to try and like find partners or something. Like, ah, yes, we're gonna go ship you over to this other clan, and yeah, interesting.
Yeah, we were discussing doing marriage proposals by smoke signal at one point, right?
Yeah, I think we joked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, when you think about it, like, it is kind of an interesting problem because A, you do want people exchanging genetics outside of the pillar that they're born on for, reasons, but also it is very hard for them to travel around between different pillars. So it's not like people can like hop around to other pillars and be like, "Hey, what's up?" Like it might have to be normal for like because I'm imagining I think like I don't know. I think with the system we have set up, I think it would probably be men would probably travel potentially and have to like go somewhere else to marry into clan families, maybe.
I mean, it's kind of it's not exactly what we would like to think of in the modern day, but you could have people go on raids to claim wives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like something like that, or I think that might be probably the more traditional, like the older way of doing it, because in the current age where the book is going to be set, they're kind of in a sort of truce period.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they would have set up a different system that may have existed before, but would be like pretty dominant at that point in time, where either like people go to like finish their studies with other clans, or like once they become a certain age, like sort of like wards almost, but then they'd eventually like marry into someone over there. Like I feel like it would have to be something like that. Yes, David. Well, technically, they'd be going on raids to claim husbands, technically. Plus, the women would be the ones riding the dragons. They could just come and swoop by and scoop one up that they think looks nice and be like, oh,
I think if
I'll take
British
you back.
people went on more raids to claim wives, the UK wouldn't be in the situation it's in now, would it be, David? This would fix everything.
Oh my gosh. I'm very entertained right now. Oh,
Andy
this is a
Burnham,
very
build the long ships.
yeah. This has so many implications for how things are going to work, though, but we'll see. We'll see.
Well, I mean, this is the other thing that, like, this is why you would take kids so that they could be betrothed to people as their wives, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Because if if you go on a raid and someone's got like and you find a girl, you can take them back and they would culturally fit your society better than some people's wives because they've grown up there. That they would be like in terms of kind of clan affiliation, they would be acceptable like wife material.
Yeah. Yes, Michelle. Yeah. It would have to be something like that, which is I probably couldn't.
You could also just have villages of distinct clans form based on sort of the need for this like dependency.
Mm.
Like or even if it was like trading outpost type things, right?
Mm.
Like if the Sky Clan, especially if the magic is different between the different pillars, right?
Mm.
So if the Sky Clan's jade gives them the ability to make incredible bread, that the magic is tied to the clan identity. I mean, I don't know exactly how you want it to work, but like, I don't know, they can preheat their ovens faster.
Yeah, yeah.
Terrible example, but you know what I mean. Like, um, or say that they can make the finest pottery compared to the others. At that
Mm.
point, then you have a distinct economic reason for someone from that clan to be. You could even be paid by the other clan to set up a village where you make your pottery, and the women of that clan are regularly taken as wives by the merchant class who buys the pottery in a full economic kin-based system. Because
Right.
you also would have, this is something else that you see in exogamous cultures, is that there will be like traditional groups which you exchange wives with.
Mm.
Um, this is how you know I've done too much research into the Northwest Amazon, because this is like the shit down. It's like,
Yeah.
um, yeah. It also would explain why everyone speaks roughly the same way. Because
Right.
if you have regular exchanges of people across all of the pillars, then you don't have pockets necessarily where people are going to start speaking super differently to another set.
Mm.
And I mean, as long as they all speak the same to begin with. Because the
Right.
other situation is, which is what does happen in the Amazon, is that everyone has to speak their own language and they're not allowed to get a word wrong. And you can't learn words directly. Specifically because if you start speaking the other person's, like if the languages were to mix,
Mm.
it would mean that they had also mixed the clan or
Mm.
the ethnic group. And so at that point, it's all incest after that. And that's
Mm.
why it's one of the reasons why it's believed that they have such distinct language families.
Right. Yeah, that
Anyway,
makes sense.
okay, so getting back to but I think this is useful to like set out just so that we know
Yeah.
what we're going for.
Yes, yes, yes.
Because also remember these are like um these roles are um they like the name should be determined based on things that they actually observe.
Right.
So like the head of the clan could be something like the defender of the would these tulos be like at the highest points of the pillars?
Not
Okay,
necessarily.
so it's not the peak, but defender of the mine or like the core.
Yeah,
Like
probably the core. Yeah.
okay, um, so is this suggesting okay? So the clan role is not gendered then. So you could have a male or female or uh, if you wanted to other gender clan
Mhm.
head, and then the partner does with the partner like and it wouldn't have to be true of all the pillars. I'm imagining that, like, for the big pillars, you'd probably want to spread the magic out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then that makes me wonder if you have like a fixed amount of this magic jade.
Mm.
Like, say that you have like, I don't know. I don't know how much these things weigh even. Like, imagine like 100 grams of jade.
Sure.
Like, different clans could make different choices about how they split that up, right?
In theory.
In practice, do you know the in practice? Tell me, Maddie. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me of plans.
I think it would make sense if they could have chosen how they split it up. We will
Okay.
make an executive call that that's how it works in practice.
It would mean that you, on a smaller pillar, it could be that they have uh, effectively like how you would have like a king's crown plus like a queen's crown,
Mm-hmm.
and they're different, but you have like a clan head item, and there's also a jade item. It also wouldn't even necessarily have to be magical jade. It could just be that there is another item that is considered the counterpart to the
Right.
magical item.
Yes, I think that's how it would work. And yeah, it would probably be up to them and maybe depending on the clan whether it would be the magic jade or like again they'd have more it'd be like inert jade, like they'd have more of it that's just like randomly around the pillar that they've been able to gather that people use as like a status item but isn't necessarily magic. So yeah, it could be that.
Because then it's like if the clan head is the defender, then the partner could be like, I want to say like the bestowed, or
Ooh,
like like of the partner's jade item.
I like that.
But we'll have to see how that works with the verbs. And then, are these all going to have like cognatic inheritance?
Could you define that for
I'm not certain that that's the right word. I think it is. So basically where the jade would be passed from the clan head to the clan head's next of kin.
Mm-hmm.
Or you would have like the other option would be that like the the person who inherits the head role is chosen by the current head, but doesn't have to be like, it could be that they have to be within the clan, but not like but not necessarily the child of the clan head, right?
Yeah, I think the idea would be that, yeah, this jade implies a certain level of like, because like if you have the magic jade, right, you are presumably one of the people that's like riding off to defend the clan either against the fog monsters or you are there to defend the core against, the fog monsters if they get too close or whatever. So you would presume that like if you had tiny children, you wouldn't be giving them magic jade to like go fight monsters,
It's the difference between how monarchy was in the Crusades, for example, versus the leaders in a lot of places weren't necessarily military, like the relationship between the elites and the military can be more complicated.
Mm-hmm.
But because to be the defender doesn't necessarily imply. It sounds a bit risky, especially if you're on a dragon. That if your magical jade were to like fall into the abyss, you're not getting that back, are you?
Yeah, correct.
And so it could be that like you can also have multiple names. If it's the defender of the core, it would. This also to me sort of implies that you get the privilege of not having to ride off into.
Right. Yes, you would be there to like on the pillar, and like if fog monsters came to the pillar, then like you may be like last line of defense, at least symbolically, I guess, at the very least.
It could be that the children who don't have the jade themselves are the ones who are expected to go out. It really depends how old the children are, and how old the clan heads typically are.
Yeah.
I mean, but I can't remember if you said this or not. So, would the children of the clan heads inherit the magical jade?
I think I think that we should think of it sort of like important positions, like having the jade is an important position, and that might go to someone else in the clan that's very worthy, but also the children would be raised in many cases to fill these positions and would be likely to be given it at some point.
I see. Nepo babies.
Yes.
So like I'm thinking like the incumbent, incumbent is such a funny word. It doesn't have a funny meaning, but it manages to have two quite rude words smashed right next to each other in an excellent form. Like, is there like, is this training something that's open to everyone, or I'm trying to think like my head's going to like initiated, but like that implies like that they've gone through some sort of process to be starting the training. Like and then again, like with followers, if you then have to translate that, it sounds more like they are choosing to we can think about this when we look at the actual words. Externliners.
Yeah, and I think it like again, it'll depend on exactly where they are, right? Because like if you're thinking different pillars are going to have different traditions, especially depending on how actually at risk they are. Because like the ones that are going to be the main settings for the story, they're kind of right on the edge, closest to like fog monster territory. So it's going to be very much like more militaristic minded. But yeah, I don't imagine it being like overly formalized. It would be more up to the clan head to give out, and they just like, you know, raising them for different positions. Yeah.
So is the air, I guess this is me, the fact these are different does then imply to me that the heir actually doesn't have to be the children. That this is like a.
I think the heir would be one of the children. They would just have like a special title for being heir. Or I could just again, I could just call them the heir. Like, that's not the end of the world, you know?
We can make a word for heir.
Yeah.
We can put this in brackets.
Yeah.
And nobles. Okay, so what defines someone as a noble?
Probably proximity to the main like clan family, right? Because like they're all part of the clan, but I feel like there'd be like maybe a slight tiering of like a general term to refer to the clan. Yeah, it basically exactly what David is saying. Access to Jade, basically, right? Like they are the people that would be have access to it potentially more so.
And for the clans that have more of accepted, I don't know if that's a word or not. Like a like if like if larger pillar equals more septs, then some septs could be. This is also. Have you considered the fact that jade and jaded mean that you can't say, like, if it was like sapphire or ruby, like ruby, I can imagine describing someone as rubied, and it to mean that they have been given. This
Yeah.
is why you have a conlang, I guess, because it
Yes.
means that you
Yeah.
can
Like
be
I don't
bestowed.
think I want to use the word jade. I think I would use whatever like the in world word for that is. Because like I don't want people to like I'm imagining it sort of like branching off of what jade would look like, but it's not like I don't want people to be like, oh yes, it's just jade, but it's and also I think that is a good idea, David. Someone or something being called pillar chosen is a fun idea. I do like that.
I mean, you can also have multiple names for these things.
Yeah.
And of the core. So I'm going with Jade Laden for now. I mean, the thing is that like the stratification doesn't happen just because some people have, like, people don't randomly end up with more wealth than others, right?
Right. Yeah.
So we can make one word for them now that it's based on the jade that they have, but I think it's worth thinking, like, what is their means of wealth accumulation? Like, do they have slaves? Like, let's make this world horrible. Like, are they landowners?
I think it would probably like yes, I think it to an extent it would be landowners. It would be they're basically the ones that have homes in the because there's going to be kind of like the communal tulos, but then there's also going to be ones that are managed like by the head of the clan. And so it's like if you live in one of those tulos, you're basically a noble. Unless you're like, staff or, whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Clan. Okay. Tell me what the sept is the role is.
That's like they're not like a chief essentially, but they're like a sub chief, So like they're in charge of a separate part of the clan's territory. They're like a branch of the family or the kin group. They're yeah, it's like a sub leader, if that makes sense. Like you've got your governor of the state and I don't do we have county leaders? county governors. I don't really know how we're structured. I should know.
Okay. Maybe this is one for when you do know.
Well, I mean, I know what it is. It's just like terminology. It's just
Okay.
like the main chief, right? And that
It
main part
feels
of the
like
clan.
something that would be clan specific though.
Hmm?
Like if like I guess the question is sort of whether we can think about that. I'm not quite sure how to do it because it feels like if it's like I guess what's the structure of the clan such that these chiefs are like because I could imagine them being if they find the Jade as a group, there could be a traditional leader, and then the subgroups are from like the division of the original booty is the wrong word. Find the original find
Okay.
like did these people have Jade as well?
They would probably have some JDS, just less. Like you could sort of think about it if they were all clans, except now there's one clan to rule all the clans on the pillar, right? So they're just like subservient isn't the right word, but there's like a
Like would they report or
yeah, they would basically be
with the clan that's the leading clan
yeah.
always be the leading clan, or would the sets alternate who was leading?
There would be one leading clan, and that's like the core part. Like they're all technically in that clan, but then there's like sub clans sort of within the clan.
No, but would there be a sub clan that is the leading clan, or and is this like the caste system where you have so in the caste system you have like the four varnas, which are like the four main groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you also have jatis or jati. I think jati is jati singular or plural. Anyway, the other ones are called jati. I don't remember whether that's singular or plural. Um, and those are the ones that are specific roles. So like you get like washing classes, you get like people who make sweets, people who repair things, people who clean up the bodies of cows, although those are technically casteless. But it would be more like, for example, you would expect someone from a higher caste only to ever marry someone of the highest caste also, but you could in theory have people within, I guess that it's how structured is everything, right? Because if it sounds like you have and like how many people are in this ruling clan versus these septs, like I can imagine each sept has its own leader, right?
Yeah. Yes.
But then you're saying that the leaders of the septs are effectively all in their own group as well.
Yes. Like, I mean, there's sort of like different branches of the family, but yes, like they are probably a little bit smaller than the main branch. They are given some access to Jade, sort of like Tinguish is saying, in exchange for, loyalty and, military service and, they rule their own area, but you know.
I think loyal is a nice idea.
Okay. Yeah, because they're basically like, maybe not. I mean, they're distantly related enough that like on some pillars you'd be able to like marry between like septs or between the main clan and one of the septs and stuff.
Okay. I mean, I'm saying flies in the front. That may not actually be the role of the commander.
Mm.
I guess it's like, what do you have an idea of what the commander does specifically?
So there would have to be different ones, probably for the different like types, but I imagine the main commander would probably be a dragon rider. And then you would probably have like sub commanders in charge of like the riding forces versus the like carried warriors versus like the at home forces. Like there'd be someone in charge of those, but I feel like the main one would probably be a dragon rider, would be my guess. Just so that then they can actually go to the locations where these battles are happening. Like I think that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. The flies in front may be a decent name.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I was thinking of like a lot of the old names that I'm aware of, I don't know of them having like sub meanings. Like if you have a word for king,
Mm-hmm.
I get the impression that very often that word just means king, and there has been a king for a very long time.
Right.
Right. Commanders, like if what their main role is to direct the army, then it makes me think. I was feeling a bit sad because the language, to me, again, this is going to be a number of David's languages remind me of Finnish situation. This language reminds me of how like I've seen Nawat working, and I was thinking of the Tlatoani, um, which is like the ruler, which means like the one who usually speaks. But like I'm not entirely sure, like if like the one who says the plan, like that, but like yeah, or the one who gives the orders.
I think that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And then the council.
So that is essentially, and again, like for some of these, like I don't know if there needs to be a distinct word for it or if it makes sense for there to be or not, but this is essentially in order to, in the current day, maintain relations between all the different pillars and all the different clans, help move around resources, have marriage between them, unite up together when there's, a threat. There is essentially like a council of clans called, and they would meet on like the biggest pillar that's kind of established themselves as not like the head clan, but like they're the ones kind of enforcing the councilship. Yeah, that's essentially what it is.
Okay, let's Do you want to think about the names now, or should we do some of these ones where we've got like more specific ideas?
We can do that.
Okay, so defender of the core. So this is like, do we have a word for defend? I
don't think so.
So, and then you go through the question of, do you want to make a? I think in the past I have made, I've made roots for it. It does make me think if we go back to Cararthus. So if you defend something, you do it for something else, which then means if you defend, if you imagine defending and you're not doing it for something else, then what is it? And it could be like cover or
shield or
yeah, I'm thinking because shield in English is obviously where you take the noun shield and then you make it into a verb.
Right.
But we could incorporate a noun for shield. So if you hold a shield for someone, then you are defending it.
Right.
So it could be like a shield. I guess the issue is that you then end up with two nouns incorporated. Because so then we go back and look at the other marking that we have available. So is there a pillar? See, we do have this word that is the edge or the perimeter. So it could be that rather than saying pillar specifically, you describe it in terms of of the one who defends the border.
I think that would work.
I did see that we do have a word for long, slender, stiff objects, which I think would include a pillar.
Yeah. Especially, it would definitely work for like the core. So like that could be used to reference like the core too, or the pillar in general would work for both.
And we do have a word for pillar already, don't we? Which could be a source.
Yes.
Up.
Sounds right. Up. Yeah.
Which the only issue there is that it would likely cross over with this I thing. But I don't think it's the worst possible outcome. The other question is like, what other things? Like, do we have a word for like I'm thinking like a trunk of a tree? I mean, They do have trees. I know that much.
Yes, they do have trees, and those trees do have trunks.
Would you make a distinct word for the trunk of a tree, or would you call it the the body of a tree?
I feel like there could be a distinct word for that.
Okay. Do you have let's come back to this when we know what the other things are going to be.
Okay.
Okay. So okay. First things first, we are doing third person marking, which means, and we're not marking the patient on the noun, on the verb, I mean. We're not doing directional marking. We are incorporating a noun. So do you want to do a root for shield, or do you want to derive a word for shield?
I think having a root for that would make sense.
Okay. Do you want to just like pick one of the forms?
Like one of the ones we have at the bottom?
Yep.
Let's see. It's hard to know what would like be nice.
You can put them through the sound changes before you pick.
Well, because I'm just thinking about like in like with the other things that are going to be in it, you know, like.
Well, we can't stop picking. I would say pick a word for shield that works on its own as a word for shield for you, and then we can worry about the. Do you want me to suggest some stuff?
You can, yeah. My first thought for that was kahu.
Kahu.
Yeah.
So that comes out as kuh.
Yeah.
Which I think works. So let's go with that.
Okay.
That
would be. I'll put it under like basic noun, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. So it'll be a kahu. Then we've got the thing that's going to be in the tree trunk, which we'll write in as classifier. Then we need a word for hold. Yeah, we need a time to pick one.
For a hold.
Ideally, not something with a K sound.
Right. Just grab a handful of those and toss them through. No K sound?
No K sound.
I don't like any of those for that. What about any of these? I mean, Nas is interesting. I don't know if that works though.
Yeah, Nas is fine.
Okay.
So, you put that in the dictionary. I will write it here. Reflexive, then classifiers. I don't think we need an applicative. then well, I don't know.
I mean, shorter is probably better. I don't know.
Yeah, in general, short is better. So, then we need the verb stem.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was our hold, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we can worry about the plural later, and that's all fine. And then we put the agentive on the end. Do I need that there? Yes, I do. Okay. So, we have a K, we have an H, we have an N, we have a Z, we have an S. So, how would you feel about a word for the other? We already have this word for tree trunk. How do you feel about ba or da?
In the blank spot, or
Yeah, or what other ones have we got here that I think would work for tree trunk? It's very strange because we actually don't have, we have quite a lot of proto sounds, right? But things don't actually survive very well.
I do like da over ba, but be nice.
If there's anything that's calling to you, let me know. I will say there's not much calling to me.
Yeah. I don't know if Tia makes sense.
Where's Tia?
Right. T-I, schwa.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's
good.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, sorry. You put that in the dictionary, and I will put that into the form.
Okay. Trunk.
Okay. And then let's put this in here and see what horrors we have created.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready? Are you ready for some scary stuff?
Oh no.
Oh, wrong one. No, right one. So, Kahicha Nazasha. And then the plural would be Kahicha Nazrusha.
I mean, okay. I think it vibes. It's just very long. But this is where P1 comes in handy, is it'll get a little shorter.
Yes. So we can lose the schwas fairly confidently, which would make it a kahi. Yeah, kahi nazash. And then kahich na zrush. or the kahich nazrush.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's a funny one.
Yeah. Kahich Nazrush.
The
Nazash.
the the word is long, but it also means quite a lot of things.
Yeah.
Um, Kahich Nazash, Kahich Nazruf. Is there an E in the language at this point?
An E?
Like a eh sound? I don't think there is. I mean, we can check the tables.
I
No, there is
mean,
sometimes, apparently. Apparently.
says there's an E. I don't know.
Yeah. We have one here. I I think that you could justify shortening kahi to ke.
Okay.
I'll make a note. Which would make it kecnazash and the plural kecnazrush. I'm trying to remember if there's anything that that like I should have remembered.
Okay.
Like you could very easily justify this becoming ken nazash and ken nazrush.
Okay.
But I think that would kill a lot of distinctions that you actually like.
Right.
Although it's not that far off of some of the other stuff.
Mm-hmm. One of my thoughts is like, oh, maybe maybe they could also in casual terms be referred to just as like the shield, but that's also not very verby.
Not everything has to be verby all the time.
That's true. Because
Um,
it could just be shield, like they could just call them like the shield or something.
the kahu.
Yeah, the kahu.
Yeah.
Or was that what it would? Hold on. Shield kahu.
Kuh.
Ku. Kuh.
Yeah.
Ku. The ku.
The kuh.
I mean, that could vibe. That kind of vibes as like a shorthand, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm into it. And I like them having like more of a full ceremonial title versus like their casual title.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's good. I like it.
Okay. So to bestow something on someone means that you. I'm trying to like think of how I would break that down. It's because it's like if you're given it. I guess it's that we could translate it as the given. Oh no, it's because it's the given to, which we can do because we have applicative.
Yay! The given to.
So it would be the items we need are give. We want a benefactive. We want an agentive.
Okay.
So do we have a verb for to give already, don't we?
I think we do actually have that already. Where is it?
And if you want it to be longer for whatever reason, we can shove a venitive on it.
No. Jam.
Oh, yum. It's yum, isn't it?
Yum. Right. The J and the Y is always like that you pronounce the J with the Y for IPA stuff. That's the one that always gets me among all the others, you know.
Well, funnily enough, that's also the benefactor. So we'll see how it comes out.
Yum yum.
Okay,
yeah, let's see how it comes out.
So that would end up
will.
as yum yum.
Wait, where is
Like
it?
on the basic form, it would be yum 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 masha.
Yum yamasha.
Let's see.
It could be cool. It could be really good.
Actually comes out kind of interesting.
Okay. Let's see.
Yum yum. Okay. So Janyamasha, and then the plural would be Janyanrusha.
Janya. Nrusha.
Yeah.
Nrusha. Janya.
I'm surprised that this isn't just yeah, and we can just spell it like
Yeah. Janyamasha. Janyamasha.
And in P1, it's probably just going to be Janyamash.
Janyamash. That's kind of fun.
And then the plural would be Janya Nrush. Janyanrush. Which I would advocate for this becoming Janyanush.
Yeah, I like that better. The Nru is a little hard to pronounce. Yeah. Okay.
Janyanush.
So then if they wanted a short form of that,
in theory, you could, if you reduced the middle vowel, you could reduce it even more to like jamash, janush.
That's I feel like jamash like is short enough that like if you were referring to someone by like their role or something like how you would say, "Hey, chief" or whatever, like jamash I feel like is short enough that vibes. For just
I mean, if the language has a lot of syllables, it just means they speak it very quickly. Like janimash, janimash, janinush, janinush.
It does, however, when people are reading it, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. I think that like each syllable that you have is justified by a lot of work.
The readers give no craps about my work. Yeah. We'll see. You know, like I didn't have any complaints about the words in my history books. So like that's step 1. And then we'll just have to see what they think of all the spells in my next trilogy.
Well, one thing I would say is I think that I'm probably a poor person to empathize with people because when I read like I don't hear the word in my head.
Oh.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
I also don't have any visual side to reading. Like I feel like I'm just like absorbing the book.
Yeah.
and so I wouldn't like I wouldn't be like casting my eyes upon Zhanyamash and be trying to be like Zhanyamash. Uh, anyway, I think that I think 3 syllables is fine.
Yeah, it might be okay. I think it'll depend. Like if it's 3 syllables, I think as long as like it's a bit more easily sight read, then I feel like it's probably okay. Whereas if it's one of the ones where they have to be like, how do I pronounce that? Then that might be a little trickier. But I feel
I
like
know saying a Z next to an R is going to scare people.
yes. But these
Yeah,
are pretty good. I feel like in terms of readability for 3 syllables, I feel like that's pretty good.
yeah. Like if you wanted to like scare people, you would just use diacritics.
I don't want to scare people.
I
I
know.
want their money.
But you could be like, Jean,
Oh, yeah, and they'd be like, Zanamas.
the nabbits.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's fair, David. It's not about scaring people, it's about accessibility. Yes. I try to be accessible also because I just hear people complain about stuff so much. So much.
I don't know. Because like it means that like any book by a Yoruba person ever that uses Yoruba names is going to be instantly like out of the running because they all have really long names.
Well, but I feel like it's really about reader expectations, right? Like people are looking for different things in different books, right? Like when people read historical fiction, like I feel like they're looking for that groundedness and that realism and stuff like that. Because like I've read a handful of books that are like set in like if they were like C dramas but they're fantasy novels, right? And so they use a ton of terminology with that, but like that's kind of a niche where you expect to find that. You know? It's just like yeah. Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like people have less respect isn't the right word, but less tolerance for it when it's fantasy and you choose it, you know?
No, it obviously is there obviously is a difference. But I don't I guess if someone picks up a book about Russia, they go into it expecting a book with Russian names, whereas if they pick up a fantasy book, they don't necessarily have a reference point.
Right. And I think that does help, you know, when they have a reference point for things, which is why like you also see fantasy novels that are inspired, like heavily inspired by specific real world settings. Like it's, you know, fantasy India or fantasy Russia, or, you know, you get a lot of the fantasy like I've seen a handful of like Celtic Irish ones that like they've got some weird looking names in there, but that's kind of just how those work to like you
Yeah,
know.
Conlangers love a Irish inspired orthography.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like there's yeah. Expectations of the genre, specifically with a lot of fantasy, especially in the part of fantasy I'm in, where like I do write romantic subplots, so it does technically fit into the romantasy category, which does tend to have very like, yeah. Yeah. Actually, David, question for you on this. Curious on your thoughts on because you're saying fantasy authors should stop doing like inspired by specific places, but what if it's literally just like if X place was magical, you know? Because I've seen people who do that where it's very historically grounded and it's just like but then like it's like an alternate version where it's more like alternate history but with magic. Maybe. But anyway. Yeah.
I mean, these things are all I don't know. It's not a proper joke.
David. Well, okay, so I do actually.
I know that there's a way. I can't work out what the intended way to read that is.
I do agree, though, to an extent. I do agree because, like, most genres are based off the plot, right? Like, romance is a romance plot, mystery is a mystery plot, right? Now, like, okay, you get into like more like comedic. I mean, comedy isn't really, I mean, it's sort of a genre, but like it's typically paired with other genres, but like horror tends to imply a specific plot. And fantasy by itself doesn't necessarily, even though there are a lot of like, that's when you get into all the subgenres. But like you can have a mystery fantasy and a romance fantasy and a horror fantasy and a thriller fantasy and a, I don't know, what are other genres? You know what I mean? Like that is a vibe. That is a thing, you know?
And it's not to be very fence city. I think there are like enough like I think there are decent reasons for having fantasy inspired by different settings. It's just usually a matter of like the quality of the work.
Yeah.
Especially because if you then kind of trace things back, it's more of a case of how obvious is it. Like there's obviously like I can't think of a fantasy setting that doesn't have some kind of obvious parallel to a real world situation.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, we're back to incumbent, an excellent word.
Yeah. Okay. Incumbents. Yes.
So we're thinking, what is the most basic sense of incumbent that we can get? They are... Oh, interesting. So doing a little Wiktionary search, incumbent comes from a Latin word meaning reclining, I guess, in the sense that like okay, so the sense that the term incumbent is derived from is more in the sense of the person who so apparently in medieval Latin, incumbo is used for obtain or possess. And so, wait, an incumbent person is the person who holds the office title. I thought it was the person who is due to get it, but no, this is not true. So what's the word that I'm thinking of? I guess I think of like elect, or elect is often how you would do it. The incoming, I guess incoming works. succeeding, the successor, which then comes from like, yeah, following or next in order.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like we need to like yeah, I don't know what that would come from. I mean, could it just be something that like already means something similar and it doesn't net like it could have like rooted up before the proto?
Like, hmm. Like because we didn't want to go with follow, which means that we need a different idea that implies that they are destined for the sense that they are the next to hold the shield.
Right. Yeah, like yeah.
Like a shield pickup, like a shield pickupper.
Huh. That could be fun. I think we'd have to see how that looks, like how close it is, because there also wouldn't be any good shorthand for that.
So kahu, you could go with like a verb like take. Pick
Oh
up
yeah,
is a bit
yeah. Shield
specific.
taker, kind of. Yeah. I think that could work.
Let's see what verbs we have, and then we can pick if we want one of those or if we want to make a new verb.
Yeah, we have take, and that's Draco.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Let's try Dredico and see. So so it'd be kahu Dredico sha, and then that would be the plural. So don't worry, we can shorten things.
I still need to go see it.
So
Anyway.
ko don't worry, I'm gonna delete some consonant.
Okay.
Kor there, and then I need either u. Where are my u's? Here we go. Huge. So
Korderkush. Korderkush.
Korderkush.
Korderkush. Korderkush.
Oh.
Korderkush.
And then plural would be a corder kerush.
Okay.
Corder kush, corder kerush.
Okay.
I know that that's 4 syllables. This is where the vertic situation makes things interesting.
Yeah.
We can lose a vertic there. Koderkush, koderkerush.
That's pretty nice. Okay, so question.
Mm-hmm.
Would this be the same as like the name for like their official role and like what they would use with like the title, or could there potentially be something? Well, because I feel like that would just make it even more complicated.
This would be like this isn't you can have a word for child. You know, you can
Right.
like the I mean, what happens with these, like the plurals always, they tend to add a syllable in a lot of cases. Like you could maybe get away with making it koderkrush, but like it's already just sort of trying to trim all the fat.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like by itself as a word, I think that's nice. But also, like, if I was using it frequently, right? Like saying, like, I don't know, we're talking about Avatar. So Prince Zuko, right? I wouldn't want to be like Koderkush Zuko like every 5 seconds, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I do like it. Although I guess also an option is they could only be like they don't need to necessarily always be referred to with that right, like it's not that formal of a culture, so I don't think using those all the time would necessarily be required.
This could also just be one word for them. Like this is specifically in the sense of these are the people who will become the next clan heads.
Right. It's always Khal Drogo, never Chief Drogo. Yeah, but like Khal is like short and like easy to throw in there, you know? Like I feel like that's easy to have every other line.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Yeah.
The Jade Laden.
Yes. Also, another option, like I think we could do Jade Laden. Another option I thought of while we were doing something else is they are also. I'm not sure if it's like a magic ritual. It might be a magical ritual, like a magic bonding ritual, like something with the jade cores in order to like. Yeah, so like it could be something like they're the ones that have like done the ritual or something. Yeah, core bonded. Yeah, something like that would work.
Oh, I forgot. We made the classifier, which was Tia, right?
Yeah, that sounds right. Tia Dishwa.
I can't find a schwa.
We got one right here.
Unprofessional Conlang streamer. Clunk. Which I think this still comes out. I guess there would be an optional. It would depend on the stress. It would be either A or it would be the E with the dots. Anyway.
Okay.
Well, because we know a word for bind already. So it would be lovely. The one that's magic bound is not. We don't have the. We don't have the thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Tosri. Here we go. This is Thai.
Oh
we can
yeah.
It, and we can add the ut if we feel we need it.
Okay.
So if you feel that you want it to be longer, you can always let me know.
I'll let you know.
And then Tosri.
Thaya Toshri. Thaya Toshri. Xia. Xia?
Xia. Oh yeah, Xia.
Thaya Toshri. Xia. Look at me sort of reading IPA.
There we go. Export. So this would be ch. Where's my little E? There we go.
Oh, with the little doodads.
The little doodads.
Cherish.
And
Cherish. Cherish.
Oh no, we'd already said that the ch was going to be, and was it S? Is it going to S?
Something. Where I can't find it. I don't know. Ooh, no. Ooh is no.
Oh no, it was all just going to ch or sh.
Oh yeah.
So lovely. Exactly what we all wanted. Chetcharish, chetcharidush.
Oh.
I don't think it's quite what you were hoping for.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember quite how we dealt with the T. Yeah, so in Nitrisha, we smushed all of this into this, which would make it Chatrish, Chatridu.
Yeah, we smooshed all of that. I do like a nice smooshing. as I scroll way too far. I do like that. Chatriche is nice. Chatriche. Slightly less nice, but still,
I mean,
respectable.
Is that better?
Yes.
Chatriche.
I like that. Okay.
Lovely. Well, something for Bib to figure out for us later on.
That's fair. Also, it is 5, which means I do need us to like.
Okay.
I have to pick up. The summer's rough with summer camp because like I have to like pick them up after
this has been a particularly spicy stream.
I know we've been having fun. It's been a good stream. Everyone's feeling a little spicy today. Just fun. Okay, so is there anything weird going on this week? I don't think so.
Jonathan's on stream with us tomorrow.
Okay, so Jonathan on tomorrow.
It will be a double scripting week in Conlanging World.
Ooh, very nice. Mm-hmm. The rock stream this week is going to be a doodle stream.
Ooh.
And then probably this week I'm going to send out the first like a really rough schedule thing to the World Building Festival subscribers, but we're going to be getting the final details to reveal the actual schedule here soon, maybe starting next week. So keep your ears out for that. I think that's about it. Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, it's not weird that Jonathan's on Let's Have a Blueberry. It's just a break from the norm.
Mm-hmm. It is worth noting.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, I guess we will probably end it there so I can run off to do summer camp pickup. But this is a lovely week. Thank you, Jake.
I think we did some good like establishing of the roots of things, which was good.
Yes. Helpful. Very helpful. 'Tis good.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.